What is going on, Ada Nation? Welcome to Dapp Central. My name is Fareed and I'm your host here. And as a part of today's video, I've got some brief updates surrounding the Cardano ecosystem that I want to break down. The first bit of news that I want to touch on is going to be the unique account growth that we've seen across the top dApps in the ecosystem. Second, I want to touch on the stake pool operator poll, which is now live on the mainnet. If you guys caught my last video, I broke down exactly what we'll be voting for, which includes some upgrades to the K parameter as well as the min pool fee. Third, I want to jump into an ongoing token presale, which is going to be for the CherryLend protocol. As a part of this presale, they'll be selling 5% of their total token supply, which I believe is about 88 million of the Cherry tokens. And I want to touch on some of the mixed feelings that this project has received over the course of the last few weeks. Following that, I want to jump into Maestro, which was just listed on the Cardano tooling website, as well as GeniusX, which is going to be announcing their Gen's token TGE or token generation event taking place very shortly. Now, we don't have a specific date just yet, but as always, once that's released, I'll make sure to get that out to you guys in the community. The very last thing I want to touch on is going to be the MELD Dev Diary, which is going to be a series of updates released every single Monday by the MELD team in anticipation of their token migration fixes, which will be rolling out on the 18th of May. That said, let's go and jump straight into today's video. So the first topic I want to touch on is going to be the unique account growth within the top dApps on Cardano. Coming in at number one, we've got epoch.art, which is going to be a marketplace with the highest percentage in terms of 5-day account growth with a staggering 656%. Now, keep in mind that this is percent wise. That only translates honestly to about 31 accounts. So it is a little bit challenging there to put that into perspective. But if we're going solely based off of the percentage, they are coming in number one. But when we're looking at the right-hand column there, the actual unique accounts in terms of number value, then we actually have another winner that I'm going to touch on here. Coming in at number two, we've got the JED stablecoin, which continues to have an increase in terms of its TVL with 121 brand new accounts interacting with that protocol. At number three, we've got Dead Pixels, which just announced a partnership with the Paima Gaming Studios with 116 new accounts. And then the number one platform in terms of unique accounts themselves is going to be none other than MinSwap. Now, MinSwap is going to be the biggest DEX on Cardano right now in terms of TVL with over 25,000 brand new accounts interacting with this DEX over the course of the last 5 days. If you guys somehow missed the meme coin mania, we also saw the fact that the MinSwap team announced that, I believe it was about 3 or 4 days ago, they encountered their highest 24-day trading volume day within the Cardano ecosystem, with over 17 million ADA being traded in a short span of 24 hours, which is equivalent to about $6.2 million US. That said, we're just going to breeze down the rest here. At number 5, we've got Space Buds. We've got number 6 for Clay Nation. We've got Sunday Swap at number 7, Muesli Swap at number 8, Vi Finance, which just came online on the Cardano mainnet. And then at number 10, we've got AADA Finance. That's going to do it there for that very first update surrounding unique account growth and which platforms people are currently interacting with on the Cardano ecosystem. Next, I want to touch on a stake pool operator poll, which is actually going to be the first vote that is currently live right now on the Cardano mainnet. So if you guys missed my video that came out yesterday, again, I touched on this here, but let me pull this up for you guys to see. So this is going to be the very first on-chain polling question for the Cardano community surrounding how people want to see stake pools actually operating in the ecosystem. Now, there's going to be a few questions that I received as a part of my last video that I want to break down here for you guys as well. So the question or the poll states, which setup would you prefer to be put in place from Q3 of this year onwards? Option number 1, we can keep the K parameter at 500 and the min pool cost at 340 ADA. Before I continue any further, the min pool cost is not a cost that you as a delegator have to pay. It's actually a cost that's paid out to the SPO or the stake pool operator as a part of the very first block that is minted within that particular epoch. After the first block is minted, all rewards go directly to delegators aside from the margin amount or the variable fee. whereas the K parameter will dictate or put a soft cap on the total number of saturated pools that we can have within the Cardano ecosystem, given the existing circulating supply. So right now, we've got about 35 billion of the Cardano tokens in circulation, with I believe about 66% of that being delegated. And if we apply a K parameter of 500, that gives us about 70 million ADA in every single pool or in any given pool before it is fully saturated. Now, increasing the K parameter would lower that hard cap to a number below 70 million. So just keep that in mind. So the second option will be to keep K at 500. So that soft cap will still remain at 70 million. However, we're going to have the min pool cost, or the initial amount that goes out directly to SPOs, to 170 ADA. Jumping into option number 3, this would be to increase K to 1000, therefore dropping the soft cap in terms of pool saturation down to about 35 million ADA and keeping the min pool cost at 340 ADA. And then the fourth option, which is to increase K to 1000, again, dropping that soft cap. However, having also the min pool cost to 170 ADA. And then if you would rather abstain or vote for a different option, then you've got those last two selections there at the very bottom. So now that we better understand the actual poll here, I want to talk about how you guys in the community can have your voices heard. So within my last video, I had comments asking how people could actually vote. And right now, this is all being done through stake pool operators. So whoever you're delegated to, you could, reach out to them, voice your opinion, and hopefully, they use their particular stake within their stake pool to vote for whatever the consensus or the general population within that delegation of that stake pool would like to vote for. So what we can see right now are the current stages that we're going to be undergoing when it comes to this on-chain vote. So as a part of epoch number 412, we now have the published poll on the mainnet. As a part of epochs number 412 to 413, this will be when SPOs can begin to cast their ballots. Between epochs number 414 and 415, we can have redelegations, and then there's going to be a snapshot taken between epoch 515 and 516, and then we're going to get the full report with a final decision as to this particular poll following that epoch. Now, I want to touch on the actual results so far and exactly who has voted within the SPO community. If we take a look here, when we're taking a look at votes by the number of actual stake pools, right now, option number 4, where we increase K to 1000 and have the min pool cost, is getting about 60% of those votes. Now, if we're taking a vote based off of the actual live stake amount, this is where the total amount staked to whatever SPO that you're delegated to would really make the most here. We can again see that this fourth option is still in the lead. If we take a look at all of the recent pools that have currently voted, we've got the Spider pool, we got the PANL stake pool, we've got Dino, AAA, Paris, Earncoin pool, and then we've got the Digi pool, I believe, which is run by Rick McCracken, which he's got a few pools here, which have all voted as well. So if I jump back up here, what I want to do is jump into another website, which is also showing the visualization of the different pool votes and exactly how that is currently broken down. So let me refresh this here just to make sure we're looking at the latest numbers. And again, we've got the majority of ADA, right? Coming in for option number 4. When it comes to the total number of pools, we got more than 29 pools, again, voting for that fourth option. And then when it comes to declared pledge, which I believe this is going to be more or less the pledge associated with the actual stake pools, not the live stake, that fourth option, again, is winning in terms of sentiment. In terms of the total number of delegators, again, that fourth option is winning. So it seems like no matter how you're breaking it down, the majority of votes so far have been coming in for the fourth option, which is to increase K to 1000 and have the min pool cost 270 ADA. Again, if you guys want more information surrounding this, I highly recommend you guys check out my latest video where I break down the Nakamoto coefficient, the K parameter, and everything else that you guys need to know when it comes to that SPO vote. The next topic I want to touch on is going to be a somewhat controversial one here, and this is going to be for the CherryLend protocol. Now, I highlighted the fact that CherryLend began developing within the Cardano ecosystem no more than about a month or two ago, and it's been now made very clear to the community that the likeliness or the team behind other platforms, which include CherryLend, Tosi Drop, Aneta BTC, and I believe one other platform, I think it's TeddySwap, are somewhat related. Now, that said, the actual CherryLend pre-sale is now live. So we have an address here that you guys can go ahead and use or send your funds to. And I want to highlight the fact that this team is going to be releasing about 88 million of the Cherry tokens, or about 5% of their total supply, as a part of this sale. Now, what's really interesting is exactly how much they've already raised since the initial launch. So as you guys just saw there, we're now crossed over the 1.2 million ADA threshold for this pre-sale. So this means that we now have over, let's see here, about $430,000 US being raised by this team. Now, I would imagine that the majority of this will go towards providing liquidity and furthering their development. Now, the last thing I want to touch on here when it comes to CherryLend is the fact that the community seems to have very mixed feelings surrounding this project. We've got a lot of people that are supporting it, again, given the fact that they've already raised over $400,000 US, and they're now closing in on over $500,000 raised in less than 12 hours. And we've got another crowd which is completely against or bashing the project. So I am in the camp of providing facts here and letting you guys do your own research and coming up with your own opinion. Again, do be careful with what you invest in. Make sure you fully understand all the rules and the potential risk when it comes to investing in pre-sales and just investing in crypto in general. That said, I'll be keeping you guys posted as the CherryLend team continues to develop, and hopefully they begin to deliver here on the Cardano mainnet. The next story I want to touch on here as a part of today's video is going to be surrounding Maestro. Now, before I jump into that, if you guys are enjoying this video so far, I would really appreciate it if you guys could tap that like button. It's going to help to get this content out to other members within the Cardano community, and it's one of the easiest ways here to support on the channel. I really do appreciate you guys taking the time to do that. Jumping into this next story, I want to touch on Maestro. Now, Maestro actually came online initially as a ISPO marketplace, so you could use their platform to figure out what ISPOs were currently ongoing, and you still can to this day. I do want to add though that they've now open sourced an API as well as a blockchain indexer, so they're now going to be building or dabbling into more of the Cardano development tool space. So if I type in Maestro here, you guys will now notice that they're officially listed on the developers.cardano.org website. So again, just a quick update here surrounding Maestro. I wanted to shout them out again, given the fact that they're kind of taking a brand new direction with what they're developing. Again, if you still want to use their ISPO marketplace, you can do that. So really good to see that we're getting more tools here again within the open source space for Cardano developers. The next story I want to touch on is going to be surrounding GeniusX. Now, I actually missed this particular update here about a week ago, but it states here from the official GeniusX Twitter that their public sale is coming very soon. So as GeniusX moves towards being blockchain agnostic, the team has decided to expand their sales, and the full details surrounding the Gens tokens TGE is right around the corner. Now, what they do know, or what they have announced, is the fact that their launch of their token will be taking place using their launch pad. So it makes complete sense there. I would not expect for them to use any other platform than their own marketplace or their own launch pad in order to launch their token. Jumping into the next story here surrounding GeniusX, I want to highlight an announcement that was made earlier last week, and this is going to be surrounding their multi-token ISPO. So if you guys were able to participate or delegate as a part of this ISPO, you are eligible to earn up to 5 different tokens, which include the Legedy, Reach, Drunken Dragon Gaming, as well as the HHMC and the Smarties tokens, all from the GeniusX platform. Now, this is going to be in collaboration with Tosi Drop, so you're able to claim the tokens there, but it's a reward for the GeniusX multi-token ISPO. In terms of dates, on May 26th, you'll be able to claim 10% of the total amount that you've earned throughout the ISPO. Following that, there's going to be a 3-month lockup, and then beginning in August, again on August 26th, there's going to be a linear vesting taking place over the course of 12 months, where you'll be receiving the remaining 90%. I believe that is going to be it there for that particular update. The very last story I want to touch on as a part of today's brief Cardano scoop is going to be surrounding MELD. Now, this is going to be highlighting some of the recent updates made as a part of their 36th Dev Diary. If you guys are not already following them on Medium, I recommend that you guys go ahead and do so in order to stay updated. Now, on May 3rd, we saw the release of the MELD L1 blockchain, as well as the MELD Apple wallet. Jumping into the very first update here, this is going to be surrounding their new bridging functionality. Now, if you're not aware, during the 25 days of MELD, the MELD team announced an integration and partnership with the Kyber Swap platform, which is going to be a marketplace for liquidity and DeFi protocols, as well as a partnership integration with the multi-chain bridge, which is going to be a bridging partner, allowing you to bridge your assets between multiple networks. So the update states here, front-end integration for the production MELD app has been implemented using the MELD wallet to integrate exchange functionality via Kyber Swap. So it looks like we may have two platforms that we're going to be using or exposed to when bridging the MELD token across multiple networks. Again, keep in mind that MELD is going to be doing this with a multi-sig wallet as opposed to providing liquidity directly to the bridging providers, making this a little bit more secure than the current solutions within the bridging space. Next, I want to touch on the multi-chain wallet improvements. So the first one here states that within the multi-chain wallet, tokens with zero value are now hidden to provide a cleaner interface. Again, it's these simple quality of life features that we really do need. I don't see any reason as to why you want to see a token that you may not actually have a balance for within your wallet, but this will do a better job of cleaning up our tokens, given the fact that we have multiple tokens. For example, you can have Cardano tokens, Ethereum tokens, and other tokens native to Avalanche within your wallet that you may not necessarily want to see or that may be cluttering your dashboard. Now, they've also rectified an issue with transaction summaries not updating for EVM transactions in the multi-chain wallet. Scrolling down in terms of external wallet improvements, and this is something that I've mentioned before, that the MELD team will be also adopting traditional wallet support, for example, like Nami on June 1st. So if you don't want to create a wallet using their Google authentication, you don't have to, but keep in mind that beginning on June 1st, you should have the ability to connect your regular wallet or restore a wallet using your regular process instead of creating one through Google authentication. So here, the upgrade states the integration of external wallets with NFTs has now been completed, and they're going to be supporting NFTs from Nami, Eternal, and MetaMask. Again, I think they're starting with the more adopted wallets, but I would assume that as those are functionally tested and confirmed, that we're going to see the adoption of newer wallets, which include Lace, Typhon, Yoroi, etc. Now, in terms of NFT external support, they've expanded NFT support to also include a large list of NFTs on the mainnet for Ethereum and Avalanche. Now, to put this into perspective, when they initially launched their wallet, which does support NFTs, not only on Cardano, but also EVM compatible NFTs, they were only showing certain collections. So what they're now doing is broadening that out and allowing for newer assets to be viewed directly within their wallet. Very lastly, when it comes to staking improvements, if you guys are not aware, you can stake directly from the MELD app or from the MELD wallet. So they've added new stake pools to their supported list, and they've also disabled the stake button if the user hasn't registered their staking address yet. So it doesn't make sense as to why you'd want to stake or how you'd be able to stake if you don't have a registered staking address. So again, that particular update makes sense. And I'm also on board by adding or exposing new pools to their users who want to delegate directly from within the MELD app. That's going to do it there for updates on MELD. Again, stay tuned on the 18th. I'll be releasing an additional video once we get confirmation about the fix for the token migration. That's going to wrap it up here for today's Cardano Scoop. Again, I did have to wrap this one up pretty quickly, but we touched on the Cardano unique account growth, as well as the mainnet launch of the first SPO pool for Cardano and how stake pools will be operating or should be operating in the near future. We also touched on the CherryLend pre-sale, as well as their tokenomics, and then Maestro, Genius X, and the recent MELD Dev Diary. If you guys found today's video to be helpful or beneficial in any way, shape, or form, I would really appreciate it if you guys could tap that like button. If it's your first time stopping by the channel and you want more content like this, consider subscribing. And if you guys have any questions for me surrounding Cardano or any of the topics that we touched on for today's video, then make sure to leave a comment down below. That said, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video.